It's time for the gem with David Griscom.
Let's do it.
Wait, actually, really quick. Do you guys want anything to drink? I'll say this on air. This is. Do you want anything like one of these?
Yeah, we have good waters.
We have. Okay.
All right.
If David's ready to go, Matt will get water.
Yeah.
All right,
Let's
awesome.
do this. Yeah, I want. We have the Spindros, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to talk about this. I tweeted something out recently that story in Yahoo News about how the financial media is already starting to get a little worried about the Bernie Sanders candidacy. They don't think that he's going to win the nomination, but they're saying if he does, be prepared for a sell-off. Now, of course, these kind of things, for the most part, are hot air and threats. But there is one thing that we do know, which is that the capitalist class, and specifically the financial class, is not going to be very happy with the Bernie Sanders presidency, and they're going to try to punish him. In the same way that they punish governments across the world whenever a left-wing candidate comes into power. The first thing that they do is there's massive sell-offs, and then there's what's called a capital strike or capital flight. Capital strike is when they're refusing investment, they're trying to move their money out of the country to avoid taxes, and capital flight is exactly what it sounds like, moving money outside of the country. So this is something that we really need to be talking about in the United States, in the UK, anywhere we're trying to move into more democratic socialist politics, which is reintroducing a regime, international regime of capital controls to prevent the capitalist class from being able to subvert democracy by pulling out all of the money out of a country. And I know this might sound like a little radical to some folks, but this was actually like the global financial order for a very long time and was the norm under Bretton Woods, which some people call the golden age of capitalism.
Right.
So the movement to destroy capital controls, and there's a lot of different things that capital controls can be, but fundamentally what the idea is that you're making it difficult for people to just up and root and move all their money out of a country. So you can do that through taxes, you can do that through banning banks from making certain kind of international transactions. There's a lot of tools that you can use for this. But there was a huge shift under the neoliberal, Reformation under Reagan and Thatcher, the end of the Bretton Woods system, to say that it's better for the global economy for there to be free movement of capital with no restrictions.
Right.
Well, the reality obviously is very different from the theory, and one, it's been devastating for most developing countries because they have people just moving money out of their country. It's very easy for financial organizations to extract large amounts of value and then bring them into the United States. It's very easy for rich people in the United States to move all of their money outside of the U.S. into tax havens. And this idea that trade would equalize across the globe if you had free movement of capital has not been shown in any of the data. So it's very important that we start talking about being prepared to implement capital controls, because they are going to try to punish a Bernie Sanders administration, just like they would try to punish a labor organization, administration, or even what we've been seeing in Mexico with AMLO's government. And I just think there's two very important things that I want people to understand. Is one, that the question of capital controls is class warfare. It's just like many other aspects of the class warfare. It's one that one side is winning dramatically. So the fact that rich people can move their money, can buy large amounts of property all around the world with no check on that power, is because the capitalists were able to lobby, international institutions to make this move. And also was the merging of industrial capital with financial capital, because industrial capital usually would like to stay, rooted in one place. But when when you saw this merging of finance and industry, there was a difference in perspective, and that's why you see factories moving all around and basically making all workers have to compete with each other. That's the consequence of the free movement of capital. It makes working class people across the world poor because they have to compete with every other person, and it makes countries that are trying to develop poor because they're not able to control their own economic policy because rich people just up and move. Now, the United States has a great opportunity to do this, because the fact is, as much as they want to blow hot air, they are not. They are always going to want to invest and have money in the United States.
Right.
They might they might kick around and make a big deal for 6 months, 9 months, but people want their money in the United States. They want it. They want to own property here. They want to invest in the U.S. stock market. So we have incredible leverage. It's really about having the political will to do it. And I think it's important to, one, recognize that financial mobility for the rich is an aspect of class warfare, and two, that the fundamental framing is this: we want to live in a democracy, and a part of living in a democracy is making sure that private individuals don't have outsized power over the rest of us, are not able to subvert the will of the people. So that means if we want to raise taxes on rich people, they shouldn't be able to just take all their money out of the country. It's absolutely is a question of democracy, and it's one that we need to make very clear and win, because the fact is that the age of capital mobility has been devastating for the working class, and we can do it. It's been done before, and we need to reintroduce this system.
You know, I was thinking so much about what you said, and growing up in South Carolina, and, you know, working my way.
Oh, what is this?
It doesn't work because it's literally an off-show joke, but we're just going to start becoming Joe Biden and steal each other's life stories.
I've done some dumb things, and I'll do dumb things again.
That's also true.
It's true.
All right, we're going to take a brief break, and then we will be right back with the director of The Edge of Democracy. We'll be back shortly. You just watched a Michael Brooks show video. Subscribe to get them all. Why wouldn't you? Don't be foolish. Click subscribe below and become a patron as well. Patreon.com/TMBS. Thanks, everybody.